Hey everyone, good evening. I am just driving back from Roatan, and great trip down there. Super exciting. Everything is going fantastic. It's just amazing. But wanted to throw out there real quick. You can still, as of this very moment, buy Bitcoin for less than $65,000 per coin. It feels like the days are very numbered that will still be possible. Typically, the best possible performance that Bitcoin has ever had in its entire history has been in the years of the halving between about now and November of the following year. So if history is any guide, and there's no guarantee that history is a guide, but if history is any guide, the next 16 months, 6 months, which is August of the halving year, which is 2024. Obviously, it was 2012, then 2016, then 2020, and now 2024. From the some midpoint of the halving year through November of the following year has been the highest performing period for Bitcoin in history, each of those 4-year cycles. So if you're doing what I'm doing, I've got every single penny I can possibly find or scrap together in Bitcoin right now. And certainly I do not intend to time the market or anything, but it's a fantastic time to be in Bitcoin the next 16 months. Also, completely independent of the halving cycles and anything else, the news on Bitcoin is just incredibly positive on numerous fronts. And all of the negative news is all short-term stuff. So right now the price is down because the U.S. government, who owns about 1% of the Bitcoin, mostly from stuff they seized Bitcoin like 10 or 11 years ago, due to various, dark web marketplaces and stuff that had gotten a hold of it early on, but that's been like a decade. Anyway, but from way back, the U.S. government still owns a fair amount of Bitcoin that they've been auctioning off, or they've just been dumping on the market periodically, and they haven't done that in a while. But after Donald Trump and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. both announced that they want to take the existing Bitcoin that the U.S. government has and turn it into a strategic Bitcoin reserve, after those two presidential candidates announced that they wanted to do that, Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or whoever's in charge in Washington these days decided to move $2 billion from one address to another address of Bitcoin. And so, of course, every time they move money, people freak out and they're like, oh no, they're about to sell it. Well, first of all, the fact that you move Bitcoin doesn't mean you're about to sell it. There's no guarantee that those two things are correlated. And secondly, so what? You can't sell the same Bitcoin twice. So there's all this positive news all over the world about the adoption of Bitcoin, the embrace of Bitcoin, all of the amazing things happening in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And the only news that is dragging down the price of Bitcoin is all short-term news that by definition has to be time limited. It was the German government selling Bitcoin, and then it was Mt. Gox, giving Bitcoin back after 11 years. The German government was giving Bitcoin back after, I think it was 11 years, and Mt. Gox was giving Bitcoin back after 10 years that had gotten hacked. And now the U.S. government, from Bitcoin they got 10 years ago, is moving Bitcoin around, and people are afraid they're going to sell it. So what? Even if they do, you can't sell the same $2 billion of Bitcoin twice. So what? The U.S. government will have less Bitcoin. So when all of the news stories that are positive are long range and sustainable, and all of the news stories that are negative are short-term things that will be done in a series of days or weeks, it just seems to make all the sense in the world to me to accumulate as much Bitcoin as conceivably possible, because all of the long-range news is positive, and the only thing that's temporarily suppressing the price down in the mid-60,000s is short-range news that will fall by the wayside shortly. So the next 16 months between now, August of 2024, and November of 2025, so 16 months, a year and 4 months, should be the most exciting time of Bitcoin that we've had in 4 years. But we'll find out. That's my prediction. That's always been the case historically, but obviously the history is not a guaranteed predictor. So if you're wondering, is now a good time to buy Bitcoin? The answer is I would buy as much Bitcoin as I could possibly get my hands on at these prices. And that is exactly what I have done, which is why I have, for liquid assets, I have 96%, 96. I have 96% of my liquid assets in Bitcoin right here today. And the other 4% for various reasons is not elegantly put in Bitcoin, or it would wipe out the tiny little reserve funds I have that will keep me from having to sell Bitcoin if it's, price dips and I need some for something for my family or something. So I'm at 96%, and that's the number that feels good at $65,000 per coin. And that's basically as high as I can push my number with a wife and 4 kids. If I did not have a wife and 4 kids, I would just go all in at 100%. I would not even have a reserve of US dollars, because I just would feel my risk tolerance can handle 100% Bitcoin exposure. And I'd feel great about it. I mean, literally, if I was not responsible for a family, I would have zero liquid assets other than Bitcoin, like zero, which would mean my entire net worth would be, private company stock like Prospera and Bitcoin. That's it. That's all I would have. So anyway, hope this helps. Now's a great time to buy Bitcoin, and let me know if I can help you in any way. Always feel free to reach out on Messenger. Just make sure you're communicating with the real me and not a fake account. Or you can text me at 601-207-0813. That number again, 601-207-0813. I love answering questions about Bitcoin. It is my favorite thing. I love answering questions, providing resources. It's what I do for fun when I'm not working. And I just love doing that. So if I can be of assistance in your Bitcoin journey, please let me know, and have a wonderful night. Thanks.